Clayton, would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number.
My name is Michael Clayton Jr., 491015.
Right, Mr. Clayton, we're here for a parole revocation decision this morning. I'm going to read the allegations against you and you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll have a discussion about your plea. But first, do you have a parole revocation questionnaire there with you? We're going to put it up on the screen. Stand by just a second. Is that yours? You recognize that document?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom, dated September 19th of this year?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good. And before we get started, I want to acknowledge that your mother and your stepfather are here and they both want to speak on your behalf. And we're going to ask them to do so at the appropriate time.
Yes, ma'am.
First, as I said, I'll read the allegations against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty. And you can enter guilty, you can guilty with a statement or not guilty with a statement also.
Yes, ma'am.
To the correct page. Okay, you're accused of violating the conditions of parole, specifically condition number 2. You failed to submit monthly supervision reports or report to your parole officer per your parole conditions. You've not reported since February 1st of 2022. How do you plead to violating condition number 2?
Guilty.
Okay. Next is condition number 4. And there's 3 different allegations on condition number 4. First, on April 14, 2023, you committed a new felony offense of domestic abuse battery, aggravated assault, which was dismissed based on the affidavit from the victim. You pled guilty to resisting an officer on September 7, 2023, and were sentenced to 6 months in the parish jail. How do you plead to violating that instance of condition number 4?
Can I make a statement?
You can plead. I need your plea, and we'll add that you're going to make a statement, but we'll do that at the end. So is it guilty or not guilty?
Yes, ma'am. I pled to a misdemeanor.
No, I'm asking you today, how do you plead to violating that condition of parole? Guilty or not guilty?
I don't understand how I'm supposed to answer that, ma'am. If I
You have to make a plea of guilty or not guilty. The allegations I read was an allegation that you violated condition number 4 because of the arrest April 14, 2023. We understand the domestic abuse battery was dismissed based on the affidavit from the victim, but you pled guilty to resisting an officer in that same instance on September 7, 2023, and received a month parish jail sentence.
Yes, ma'am. I plead guilty.
You plead guilty to violating condition number 4 with a statement.
Yes, ma'am.
With a statement. Okay. Next is another instance of condition number 4, which states on March 23rd, 2023, you committed a domestic abuse battery according to Bossier City Police, and the victim received an injury from a bottle thrown at her face. A warrant was requested by Bossier City Police, but the charges were dismissed due to the victim affidavit. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4 in that instance?
Guilty.
You want to make a statement at the end?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to note guilty with a statement. Okay, another instance of condition number 4, which states on October 22nd, 2022, Bossier City report indicated that you grabbed the victim by the neck. Bruises were located on her arm. There have been no charges filed as of this date in that instance, but how do you plead to violating condition number 4 on October 22nd, 2022?
Not guilty.
Okay. Next is condition number 6. It states you have not submitted any proof of employment. How do you plead?
Guilty.
Next is condition number 8. You failed to submit to drug screens as your whereabouts were unknown until your arrest on or about April 14th, 2023. How do you plead to violating condition number 8?
Guilty.
And then last is condition number 10. You failed to pay supervision fees as directed by your parole release certificate. You're currently $1,260 in arrears. How do you plead? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
Okay. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Roche, which you can make your statements to him. He'll ask you for them.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Clayton.
Good morning.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Okay, Mr. Clayton, sit back, relax, and we're gonna have a conversation.
Yes, yes, sir.
May I call you Michael?
Yes, sir.
Now, Michael, you said you wanted to make statements on all the charges. So make your statement on number 2. You failed to submit monthly reports.
Oh, yes, sir. Well, when I got out, I had did a 5-year sentence, and I really wasn't. I was more worried.
Go ahead.
Okay, he was fixing something. I wasn't in the mind frame I'm in now. I was gone 5 years, so I was kind of like I was missing something. So I was like, I was more about worrying about catching up with the street life, than worrying about doing what I had to do to, you know.
How long have you been out?
How long have I been in jail this time?
Now, how long have you been out? How long were you out before you were arrested?
I was out 15 months.
You was out 15 months and you couldn't get it together in 15 months.
Well, I tried. I even enrolled in a rehab recovery center, New Day Recovery Center in Monroe. I went there and I tried, and you know, when I came home, I got it together for about a month or two, and I even talked to my parole officer. I called him when I was there and told him that I enrolled, and man, I didn't have Jesus in my life. I'm just gonna, you know, now since I've come to jail this time, I've reading the Bible for the first time, and I actually get it. And my kids were in Houston at the time of when I was doing my 5-year sentence. So when I came home, they weren't here, and
How long have you been incarcerated this time?
8, almost 9 months.
So you've been in jail since the early part of 2023.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, let's talk about the pattern of domestic abuse that I see, even though the charges were dismissed, and the third case was not even charged. I see a pattern where I see smoke, there's always fire. So tell me about your anger management problem.
Well, that's kind of what I was just speaking on. You know, I'm not perfect. I'm not gonna sit up here and place the blame on her like it was all on her. You know, I mean, I didn't touch her. I didn't hit her. You know, so that's why she dismissed the charges, was I didn't hit her. Like we was having some problems to where I was being a little promiscuous, and I was seeing other women, and she didn't like that, and you know, and I don't blame her, but I've been working on my anger issues with the Bible. The Bible is teaching me how to live. It's teaching me everything I need to know on how to live and how to present myself, how to live, you know, and I just You know, I just asked for a little mercy today.
So you can see that you had some domestic problems in your relationship.
I mean, yes, we argued a lot. We argued a lot. Like I said, I wasn't perfect. I mean, I don't want to place all the blame on her because it was me too. You know, I was, what they say is I was a woman, a ladies' man, and I couldn't keep it in my pants, and she.
Okay. Now, Mr. Clayton, you didn't show up for a drug screen. So tell me about your drug problem.
Well, I mean,
when did you first start using illegal drugs?
well, I've been smoking weed since I was like 12. So I really don't have so much as a drug problem. I just have a keeping it in my pants problem. You know, and
Okay, so you've never used anything stronger than marijuana?
yes, sir, I have, but I had, you know, spurts of where I tried different drugs and, you know, I've tried
So you're a drug addict?
recovering,
Okay.
drug addict. Yes, sir. I mean, I haven't.
Did you complete the outpatient treatment that you were talking about earlier?
Did I finish it?
Yes.
I didn't.
Why?
I was ready to get back to the women.
So you proclaimed yourself cured before the program was over, and you were more interested about other aspects of life than your drug addiction.
The tablet was skipping, sir. You kind of skipped out a little bit.
I said you were more interested about other aspects of your life in curing your drug addiction.
I mean, I don't feel like I have a drug addiction, sir. I do I smoke weed.
Most drug addicts don't.
I mean, but like I said, sir, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like I said when we start talking, I'm a totally different guy. I'm not the same guy. I've never accepted Jesus as my savior until this time when I came to jail this time, and I'm not the same person at all. Like I don't want that life anymore. I want.
Mr. Clayton, let's move on to another topic. You were released for 15 months. Where were you employed?
I work for Burger King, and I work for Burden Lawn Service. Actually, I was working there when I got arrested. I had a job.
Did you have a full-time job?
Yeah.
All 15 months that you were released?
Maybe 8 months out of the 15.
Okay, so why didn't you pay your supervision fees?
It's no excuse, sir.
Because $1,260 seemed like all 15 months that you were on supervision, you never paid any fees.
There's no excuse, sir. I could have. I just didn't because I wasn't worried about paying the fees. I was worried about running the streets. I'm just gonna be real. I'm not gonna lie about it. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do, sir. But if I just get another chance, sir, to show y'all that I can, I can do it. You know.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
All right, Mr. Clayton.
Yes, ma'am.
You have two burglary convictions, a simple burglary and a burglary of an inhabited dwelling, as well as a monetary instrument abuse charge. Why were you committing those crimes?
I was young and dumb.
No, that's not why you were committing the crimes.
I don't even remember what year that was, ma'am. I mean, I was,
And you also had a possession of cocaine. And usually when we see someone committing burglaries and they have a drug charge, they're committing those burglaries to get money to buy drugs.
that was that was years ago, ma'am.
That's what you're on parole for. So I mean, my point is, you seem to be in denial about your substance issues.
No, ma'am, I'm not in denial. I'm a changed man. I'm a new,
Not, you've only been in jail 8 months. You've not had any programming, nothing has changed.
yes,
with-
ma'am, I have. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, ma'am. I'm sorry. But I have had programming, ma'am.
In the last 8 months,
The Bible, yes, ma'am. That's the
Okay,
best
sir.
program
sir,
I've ever had in my life,
Sir.
ma'am.
sir. You know what? Jesus is gonna still be there whenever you get out. Let's see if you're still there. That's all I have.
Mr. Clayton, is there any current relationship with Miss Sapling?
I mean, no, ma'am, she's not my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's just, and so there's no contact with her.
Yes,
There.
she puts money on my books. She called, I talked to her. She puts money on my books. Yes, ma'am.
All right. Okay, we'll hear from your parents. We'd first like to hear from your mother, Miss Valerie. Can you unmute? Yeah, there you go. Go ahead.
Good morning.
Morning.
I really don't know where to begin. I do see change in my son. I know that he's been there only 8 months and he hasn't had to face some of the obstacles that comes your way as you're living in society. But you've heard the saying that a mother knows her son. This is the first time that I have seen him in this capacity where I believe that he would be able to do what he was called to do from the beginning. The last time that he was placed on probation, I think he would do a better job at it uh, at this time. As far as the anger, I heard you guys bring up. I would like to see some anger management, if that is possible.
Thank you, ma'am. So we'd like to hear from Mr. Curry.
Good morning. I haven't been in Michael Clayton's life his entire life. I've been married to his mother for 15 years, and I've seen him unfortunately spiral, living on the streets, as he had mentioned, doing some really bad things. There were some events that led up to him going to jail years ago for the burglary. And at that time, I really cut ties with Michael as far as just the way he just didn't want to take any kind of recommendations, even though we were trying to help him out. As my wife's mentioned, he's been in jail now for 8 months. And where before, previous times in jail, he would call his mother, and I would be very upset at how he spoke with his mother. Very very aggressive, more of a demanding type when he wanted things. It was never truly about seeing how she was doing. But in the last 8 months, I know you heard my son say that he's read the Bible, he's found Jesus. Now he's played games with me before where I've sat and prayed with him on the phone and all this other stuff, but I've never seen him so adamant about his faith. He's actually teaching Bible studies in the jail. Now that doesn't make up for all that he's done wrong. I do believe he has had an addiction problem. Absolutely. I believe he does have anger issues. I do believe that if he is released, that there should be some mandated events that he goes to, such as anger management or some type of addiction counseling to help him in his transition. But I do side with his mother in that there has been verifiable change out where I would not allow him into my house before he went to jail. If he were to get out of jail today, I would most definitely welcome him into my house and help him to get back on his feet and to, work to improve his anger management, work to build resilience to the addictions that he's had in the past and try to get him on a good path to do some things the right way.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate the support and we appreciate you being here with us today. Thank you, sir. Mr. Clayton, is there anything you'd like to say before we vote?
Ma'am.
Okay, we're prepared to vote. Mr. Roche?
I need to call for executive session.
I'll second. We have a motion and a second for executive session. I do concur, so we have a unanimous vote to convene an executive session to discuss confidential matters. Stand by, we'll be right back. All right, Mr. Clayton, we are back in regular session and we are prepared to vote. Mr. Roche?
Mr. Clayton,
Yes, sir.
after interviewing you, I don't think you're ready to be released. You need anger management. You need domestic abuse training. You need substance abuse treatment. So based on your guilty pleas to violating condition number 2, number 4, number 6, number 8, and 10, I'm going to revoke your supervision.
Mrs. Jackson.
All right, Mr. Clayton, I've listened to you, I've heard what you said, and hopefully you're on the right path, but I still think there's some denial with you in terms of your substance abuse issues. I think you can benefit from some more programming, particularly the substance abuse and the domestic violence program. You're fortunate that you're in Bossier because both of those programs are available to you. And we're going to make the recommendation that you be placed in the Steve Hoyle program, if you qualify for that, as well as to complete the domestic violence program. And once you've done those programs, reapply, and your outcome will probably be different. But today, I really don't think you're ready. And so my vote today would be to deny, but with a recommendation for Steve Hoyle and the domestic violence program.
Mr. Clayton, have you asked for the opportunity for the treatment program? Have you asked for it?
I wasn't in this facility. I'm in a facility across the street and they don't have it over there.
No, I know, but you have to ask. Did you ask?
I mean, I was trying, I wanted to come home.
No, you haven't asked. But anyway, I do agree with my colleagues. I'm pleased to hear from your parents. that you seem to be doing better. I'm pleased to hear from you that you're deepening your faith and you're doing some Bible studies. I don't think you're ready yet, though. I agree with my colleagues. I believe there's some denial and you have a severe need for treatment to address your addiction, not only to the substance, but to women. So my vote today is to deny with the same recommendation. Reapply, sir, when you have the opportunity to take those programs. Good luck to you, sir.